I wish I knew. I don't like, I don't really keep up with them anymore. I don't like, I did my time with them. I was there for a long time. I mean, I wrestled there, and then I was a coach there, and then I went back and wrestled again and was a producer and did all that. So I don't really keep up with what they do. I just know that they're cleaning house for some reason. Like I would just be speculating, and I don't want to do that because then it'll come back on me. Well, Willie said this, but I think it's just they have so many people there, and what a lot of people don't realize is this is a business we have. Like we're, as much as people say about Vince, he's a businessman. It's the same with Tony. He's a businessman. You start this business to make money and and let everybody have an opportunity, and you do with what the opportunity that they give you. If you're not making any revenue for the company, I can't keep paying you. They pay these guys enormous amounts of money. So if you're not producing, or you have some reason that you're not on TV, they're paying, let's just say $500,000 a year to not be on TV and do anything. Like you can't keep paying people this kind of money and not getting anything out of it. It's a different with Roman Reigns and a John Cena and those guys, because they make you money. Like, so you have no problem paying them whatever kind of money you want. But when you have that many people in the performance center or on the main roster that they're not doing anything with, you have to cut your losses. And I think that's, if I were to speculate, I think they're just cutting people that they're not doing anything with.
Yeah,
and
well,
yes, it's very sad. I don't want to lose my job because of that, but it's something I had to realize too. When they released me the first time in 2005, I went, well, I'm really good. And then it took me about a year to realize, oh, I get it. They weren't doing anything with me, and they were paying me a bunch of money to sit at home. And you can't really do that, because this is, at the end of the day, it's a business.
is it more to also blame some of the wrestling community blame is to a creative process? There's nothing they can do, because most of the wrestlers that was released today is most NXT wrestlers, developmental, and also some shocking like Keith Lee and Nia Jax, which was very shocking. And same goes to previously like Bray Wyatt and those kinds of. So more speculation is more to the creative side of things. Do you think that's one of the main reason?
Yeah, they just creatively, they don't really know what to do with they don't know what to do with these guys and girls. And when they get in a creative something, because you have a bunch of writers there, they have umpteen writers. I mean, it's like a who's who of writers. But if I was gonna say, they don't know wrestling. They don't, like, it takes a very special person to be in this business a long time to know wrestling. Like it's not a sitcom, it's not a comedy act, it's wrestling, and you have to have storylines. That's why the Attitude Era was so good. Storylines were amazing. It's just like a good soap opera or something, a good series that we watch on TV. The only reason the series keeps going and the only reason we watch it is because the storylines keep getting better and better. And then you get involved. You get involved with wrestling. You get involved with the person, not just the product. So when you care about the person, of course I care about what they're doing, but the only reason or the only way that I care about the person is the storyline that they're telling. So when you have a bunch of writers that don't know what's going on and you're trying to write something for somebody that you don't know, it sometimes it's a hit. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes they hit it out of the park, but sometimes it just falls flat, and it's not the talent's fault. It's the creative side behind it.
I mean, it sucks. In NXT, it's a different realm where there's no creative, but when they come to the main roster, it's just that it doesn't work with the so-called WWE vision of them. So they have to rebuild, they have to change. I'm not sure whether you know about the Keith Lee. They choose to keep Beer Catley. I'm not sure why they do that, but it's okay. It's just very shocking in the morning that we found out about the release of multiple talented superstars.
Yeah,
So
there are some of the guys that you wonder, you wonder why they, like a Bray Wyatt, like, you could do a lot with him, and a Keith Lee. They just started getting him going, and then all of a sudden, the next thing he's released. That's the beauty of the wrestling business. You never know what's going on. But yeah, there's a big difference between NXT and the main roster, and there shouldn't be. Like, the NXT should be a setup for the main roster. But for some reason, when kids leave NXT and go to the main roster, it's a poof. It's very mind blowing. They don't know how to handle it, because it's very, I don't want to say it's low key, but it's very, very low key in NXT, and the main roster is like like it's a Volkswagen at NXT and it's a Ferrari in the main roster. So they don't know how to navigate that, or they don't know how to handle that. And NXT should be a setup for that. So it shouldn't be that big of a surprise. But for some reason it is, and they're not, they don't know how to deal with it.